Damn. This Luke Sage is quite fucking good, huh? Yeah. Damn. Damn. What? Got some Sour Patch Kids, Haribos, and Lucasade.
I'd better keep my wits about me. Unlucky spider. You were stood in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, this guy, however, got pretty good aim. Perfect. There's loads of iron, which is just what I wanted. And the sooner I can get to full iron armor, the better. I've pretty much got all of it that I need, yeah. Caving before 1.18 is certainly easier when it comes to getting iron. And to speed things up, I should probably get multiple furnaces on the go. That's the chest plate sorted, as well as leggings, and finally boots. Perfect. More than enough food is cooked as well by this point, so the next goal is to see if I can head down lower, and then track down some diamonds. And I'm also going to try and get a little bit of gunpowder from creepers as I go, because that's also going to be useful for the Elytra later on. I've stumbled across a mine shaft. Hopefully this connects to caves that take me lower down. Or it might just take me to a golden apple. I'm going to keep grabbing iron ore whenever I see it, because I will need a few anvils later on, so I just think if I get the iron now, it'll just make life easier down the line. And Respiration 3 on a book. And you never know, it might come in handy. This looks perfect to me. Straight down to the diamond level. This creeper just refuses to... Okay, now he's flying. Come on, I need to get rid of him. This is reminding me how much harder it is to get diamonds in 1.12 compared to when they added the cable check. I think this is the clay strategy. Because you can use the clay generation from swamps and rivers to know where diamonds are going to generate. That might have been a better idea, but hey, we're down the cave now. We might as well see it through. And if nothing else, we are getting a lot of iron. On a side note, I know you can use the one block at a time. April full update just to get command points. In fact, you can use that to get any block. that was close to death. Stop and relax. Don't know how I'm still alive in this situation. I could have been a premature end to the challenge. Anyway, as I was saying, I know that you can use the one block at a time update to get any block, including command blocks. But that is not an official update. It's just a joke one for April Fools, and it's not particularly much of a challenge. No, this is all about getting it in an official update of Minecraft, which 1.12 is. And boy, is this challenge going to be hard. All I seem to be doing is just finding loads of emeralds. It's a shame I don't really need them. And when all else fails in a hunt for diamonds, I say the best option is to just go ahead and strip mine for them. An Enderman. Hang on a minute, mate. Sorry to have blown you up like that, but please, drop me up. Broken, so I might as well set off all of this iron smelting. And then I can craft a brand new one. And with that out of the way, I can now continue strip mining. Finally! I've found some diamonds. I feel like I have been mining for ages and ages. That's 7 in total, fantastic. And as I've been finding iron, I've been smelting that away. I think probably 30 blocks is more than enough for now. And realistically, I think my next project is to find some lava and go to the nether. Once that's done, I can get the elytra and OP gear from the end cities and begin the quest for 21 dragon eggs. Also, rather than build the portal here, I've decided to make a diamond pickaxe and mine up the obsidian because where I build this nether portal is going to be pretty crucial to me getting the command block. It doesn't seem like a massive thing, but yes, the nether entrance point is absolutely crucial. And that's because if I load chunks in the wrong place in the nether at this stage, I won't be able to get the command block. Yes, getting the command block involves loading chunks in the nether at the right point. When I said this is complicated, I was not joking. And that is now 24 pieces, which is enough for 2 portals and an enchantment table. Redstone is going to be very important later on, so I might as well grab loads of it whilst I can see it. Then I shall swiftly dig upwards and outwards and leave the cave, the place with even more pigs. And before I can begin Project Nether, there's a few Endermen around here that might have some Ender pearls. That's one. Perfect. And this right here. Okay, not so good. Well, there's another one over there as well. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. I think I can actually trade for Ender pearls. So if it comes down to it, it doesn't matter too much. Mate, what are you doing? Move away from the cactus. Are you crazy? Sometimes I do really wonder if there's anything with a lower IQ than villagers in Minecraft. At this point, I think I've come far enough. Let's go ahead and build a portal so that I can then search the nether for a fortress, get blaze rods, leave the nether, search for the stronghold, and find it. Then I'll get more pearls, grab some bookcases, find mending and power 4, and then I can enter the end, defeat the Ender Dragon, and start the search for the elytra. An end city has been spotted. The elytra obtained. That means I can make firework rockets, put mending and unbreaking on it, craft shulker boxes, and explore the end to get a load more gear. And I think I've got enough. With all of this loot and all of this gear, let's go ahead and hop through this end gateway and collect dragon egg number 1. But the issue with that is I need 21 of these in total. And so this is how we're going to do it. Although before I do that, I'm going to max out these boots. And then I must head through here to get the materials to craft a piston. Yes, I was smart and set my spawn at the end portal. There we go. And before I head back, it's also pretty important that I get some arrows. This is so much easier now that I have looting 3. Now for the explanation on how I can get another... Excuse me, Enderman, I'm trying to talk to the viewers. Don't worry, guys, every channel has haters. But here is at least part of the explanation. So if I was to place 4 end crystals on this portal, the Ender Dragon would be resummoned, you'd get 1000 XP, and you'd get no dragon egg. However, if this portal block right here is removed, because there's no other ones in the end city, then the game is going to think that you've never defeated the Ender Dragon before, and it'll summon a brand new one in that will give you a dragon egg. And on 1.12, there's a really easy way to break portal blocks and bedrock using the dragon egg. That's convenient. It's going to require a couple of repeaters, an activated piston with the dragon egg on top. This doesn't look that exciting. If we break that, the egg falls and that's about it. However, Minecraft does something called instant falling. And it's kind of important that you pay attention to this, because this is also going to be used to get the command block. Yeah, it just comes full circle. In Minecraft, a lot is dictated by a player's render distance. If the player had a very tiny render distance, then the green chunks would be normal entity processing chunks. But the orange chunks right at the edge of the render distance, well, they are called lazy chunks. And in lazy chunks, Minecraft behaves a little bit differently. For example, gravity blocks fall instantly. If the dragon egg falls with instant fall, it destroys the block below it, meaning you can easily break anything. Nothing else has this property except the dragon egg. So, if I lower my render distance down to 2, place the dragon egg in this chunk, and move away so that it's now in a lazy chunk, activating this will retract the piston, the dragon egg will fall, and the bedrock should be broken, but it didn't work. And I have found this method to be a little bit inconsistent. But don't you worry, there's a better way to do it that works every single time. The minecart activates the pressure plate, which activates the piston, and if I put the dragon egg there, once I fly away and this entity gets unloaded, the piston will retract, instant falling will be on because it'll be in a lazy chunk, and the bedrock broke first time. This also means I can have any render distance, so once again, I fly away, once unloaded, the piston retracts, the dragon egg falls, and more bedrock is broken. If I do it one more time, the end... The end gateway gets broken, and if I was to now summon an Ender Dragon, it would almost be a new one. There is just one more step. Although before I can worry about that, I need to get some more food, head to the nether, to get gas tiers, to craft end crystals, and re-summon the dragon. Although it's crucial that during this, you relog the world. Because now, when you load it back up, as you can see, it's a bit, but don't ruin this for me, I'm trying to explain some Enderman. As you can see, the Ender Dragon boss bar is back. This is really, really weird, and after about a minute, the dragon appears with no end crystals around the sides, which is pretty handy, and I can go ahead and attack it. Now, I know it doesn't look like I'm attacking it, for some reason it's invisible, but its health is going down. And this time, when the dragon is defeated, once again, it drops all 12,000 XP, and you get another dragon egg. So that means I now have 2 of them, and I can use all that XP to keep upgrading my gear. Once again, I can use this trick to break the bedrock and the end gateway, and then I've just got to rinse and repeat that 19 more times until I have 21 dragon eggs. That means getting 76 gas tiers, 38 blaze rods, 76 ender pearls, and 532 glass. Then I can craft all of the end crystals, and then I can respawn the Ender Dragon and defeat him many, 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 many more times. Thank goodness that's finally done. I feel like I've collected 1 million eggs at this point. Come the egg went through the portal. And one of them did actually go through the portal, so I need to leave the end, break this bed, go through the end again, and then it'll take me to spawn, where there's a lot of XP to be collected, don't mind if I do, and I can get egg number 21. Fantastic. I'm so glad that's done, and now I can focus on phase 2, which is to obtain 104 beacons. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a lot harder. So if I want 104 beacons, I need 312 wither stones. So I'm going to use this fortress to build a farm for that. And I've just got, are you kidding me? Okay, well, we only need 311 now, that's convenient, isn't it? First things first, I'm going to build a big platform, which is going to require 17 stacks of nether brick. Now I know why I took the time to make an efficiency 5 diamond pickaxe. It's really speeding things up. It's a shame netherite's not a thing, but regardless, I should get 17 stacks in no time. That is all of it. Got another skull while I was mining that as well. The plan is to build a platform right here, with portals going down the middle. This farm is known as the peer pressure farm by ENX04, and I've just adapted it a bit to work in 1.12. But a very important thing I'm going to need to make it work is wolves. Yes, I need 12 of them. 12 in total, and currently I'm completely friendless. I have none. 11 bones in my ender chest, and there's 20 more to be collected, and so now I shall try and find some wolves. This seems like the right biome, although it's probably, yeah, a little too small. Just found a sharpness 5 book, let's go. Might as well add it to the axe. Operation Find Some Wolves has been successful. Hello guys, prepare to be tamed. 5 so far. That's pretty good. Remember, it's 12 altogether. Ideally, I'll find them all and tame them, but breeding is also another option. Perfect. Loads more here. Basically, just look for the wool and the mutton, and you're probably in the right spot. What are you guys doing in the tree spawn out? Just be careful. This is the problem with having this many dogs. You're bound to have casualties. That's 8 in total. I'll breed the rest of you when we actually make it back. So, guys, I've got to fly about 4,000 blocks in this direction, and all I need to do every now and again is land on some terrain so that they'll all come to me. I've successfully got them all back to the portal in one piece. My goodness, I just feel completely overrun with dogs. Then I just need some stairs, and from there I can just push all of the wolves into position. Perfect, that is all of them in the correct spots. And now I can start placing down all of the slabs. Perfect, that's one side completely done, and the other side as well. Next I'm going to head above the bedrock using this tried and tested method. Then I'll build another portal at this level. It has to be one block down, because in 1.12, portals above the nether just don't connect. This obsidian can now be completely removed, and a new one built all the way up here. This should perfectly connect above. Yep, it does. So then I just need to grab a load of materials and build the overworld part of the farm. And with that done, I can show you the farm in action. So the way this works is I stand on the AFK platform up here, and down below, mobs will spawn, and the wither skellies will run away from the wolves into the portal. On the other side, the blaze can't swim, so they drown, as do some of the pigmen, and the skellies go up the water and fall down this chute, putting them at half a heart. I then periodically come through this portal and take them all out, getting me wither skulls, and thankfully I get to use looting with this method too. I have also got to do a tiny bit of spawn proofing to make the rates as good as possible. It's very, very minimal compared to what I would have had to do if I hadn't used portals and gone above the nether. But yeah, this will just remove any rogue spawn spaces, and they're very far and few between. And with the farm now ready and running, it's going to get me about 16 skulls per hour. We need 312, so every couple of hours I'll take all of these guys out. It'll be about 18 hours for me, and 5 seconds for you. But yes, we are now done. I literally went to Mallorca and back in the time that it took me to get all of those. And now getting all the nether stars for the beacons is going to be a fairly straightforward process. I just need to grab a load of soul sand and then spawn the wither over and over again underneath the end portal. And as he's taking damage naturally from suffocating, I can be mining up the 5 stacks of obsidian that I need. That is all of that successfully obtained, and in that time I've managed to get 3 nether stars, and now that I can use my sword, getting more is going to be so much faster. And that there is 5 down and 99 to go. And with that, it is mission accomplished. I just need a load of sand to get a load of glass, and then I can craft every single beacon that I need. So I now have the beacons, I have the dragon eggs, I also need a bunch of rose bushes. I'll explain what for later. And so all that remains is a load of redstone items and squid. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of ink sacs. And feathers for that matter as well. All this time the chickens thought they were safe, but unfortunately, yeah, they're not. I'm not exactly sure how much I need, but 7 or 8 stacks of ink and a load of stacks of feathers should be plenty. And yeah, I decided to build a chicken breeder to get them faster. Now, to go alongside all these materials, a load of books are going to be necessary. There we go. And all that leaves me to get is a load of redstone items. I'm in a mesa right now, so gold is going to be useful for powered rails. Iron and redstone dust is needed to craft pistons. And slime is also something that I'm going to need loads of. And after a lot of mining, crafting and smelting, I'm almost at a point where I have everything that I need. I am a little bit short in the redstone department still. Got a few blocks and dust left here, but I need 328 redstone blocks and 650 redstone dust. So I'm going to go and dug a load of this stuff. And I've already dug a strip mine down here, so I can just gracefully glide down. And rather than going down that tunnel, I shall instead go in this direction, hunting for redstone. Found some already. Fantastic. It's good. There's got to be a lot more where that came from. But the good thing about this is that I should also run into caves, and then you can get loads and loads of this stuff. Successfully found a cave and diamonds, but more importantly, redstone. Good thing I brought a water bucket. That's going to be very, very handy. Just in that short amount of strip mining, I've already got quite a lot of stacks in the kitting. So yeah, I'm optimistic that getting everything that I need is not going to take too long, so I shall get to work and mine up absolutely all of the redstone that I need. And with that now out of the way, I can begin the project of building the machine that will allow me to obtain and farm command blocks. So to begin with, we have to start with save stating. Save stating is when a chunk has so much data in it that the game can't save it. This normally never happens, but with enough books with complex characters in them, you can overload the chunk's data capacity. So I'm going to fill this book with pages and pages of random characters and sign it as book 1. And then I'm going to fill another book with pages and pages of random characters, but different ones from the first book. That can be signed as book 2. And then by crafting more book and quills, I can duplicate the books and put them into a shulker box in a checkerboard pattern. And because they're in a checkerboard pattern, Minecraft can't compress the data as well. If they were just like this, it could compress it a lot better and it wouldn't overload the memory. But instead, you need them to be laid out like this. So this shulker box here is taking up a lot of memory. And if you make a second shulker box that is exactly the same, you then overload the chunk's memory capacity and it wouldn't be able to save this chunk. A lot of save stating is crucial in getting a command block, which is why I've got so many of these to make different builds. And just to show you in action in a random world, if I go to a chunk and place down 2 of these shulker boxes, this chunk's memory is now completely overloaded. I can blow things up and place down a bunch of blocks, and everything in this chunk will reset due to those shulker boxes. These diamonds will stay, those ones will not. If I just fly far away and fly back once it's out of render distance, as you can see, the chunk has completely reset. It's not reset the snow for some reason, but it's not saved any of the data. So I'm going to go ahead and craft every single book that I need for the entire machine. There we go. And then we're ready to fly to an ocean far away and build this thing. It's got to be really far away, because the nether side of the farm needs to have never been visited before. We're now about 10,000 blocks out, and the chunks ahead of me have never been loaded before. So I'm going to reload the world, grab 4 of these shulker boxes, and within 45 seconds before an autosave can occur, I'm going to place save state shulker boxes in this chunk and also in this one. Now, it's impossible for the game to save those chunks as long as I don't unload them, which is crucial for the entire farm to work. Right here, I'm going to start by placing down 100 beacons, and these are absolutely crucial in getting a command block. It won't make sense right now, but I'll try to explain it later. Stained glass is also going to be very important, and it's how stained glass and beacons interact that allows us to manipulate code and do some pretty cool stuff. So this glass tower needs to be built up really high. And with that completed, and I now need to place floating dragon eggs up here, which is impossible. If you're a noob. You see, if you instead take rose bushes and place the eggs on top and break the bottom, the eggs stay floating. It's that easy. If I first add in 5 observers, I can then safely fill this with dragon eggs and break the bottom layer of the rose bushes to get exactly what I need. Why do I need that? Well, all will be revealed later. And what I'm about to build is complicated. There's a lot of different things, a lot of redstone, and a lot of explaining. And rather than explain every little bit as I build it, I think I'm just going to build the entire thing. And once that's done, I shall explain how everything works. And with that, it is done. I wasn't joking when I said that the machine is absolutely massive. Look at all of this. Now going to place this repeater. I just didn't want to cause any updates to the Dragon Eggs and have them fall prematurely. And I now need to go ahead and add books to the save state machines. These basically make it so that after running the machine, it can still be used over and over again. Basically, the way these work is at the moment, because it's only book 1 in the shortcut, the data can be compressed, it's not overloading the chunk. And in here, we have book 2s, but they're all renamed different things so they don't stack together. And when these observers over here go off over and over again, these droppers will put these books into the shulker box, filling up the gaps, and that will make it so that the chunks can't save, and they will automatically reset. And all the remaining ones that need to be save stated are down here around the 2 chunks that I save stated. And so that's both of these loaded up. And as for these top dispensers, they're just going to have these full ones inside of them, so that when the dispenser activates, they'll both get dispensed into this chunk and save stated. And it's the same thing over here as well. Because they're currently in that chunk and this chunk, they're not save stated, but when put into this chunk together, it overloads the memory. I feel like I'm going to be saying save state a lot in this video. In these bottom bits below the dispensers, I'm just repeating exactly what I've done everywhere else. There we go. They're done. Mission accomplished. And you know what that means? It means that I've got to not forget to put a water bucket in there. That's going to help with update suppression. But it means that I can leave this area now, reload the world, anything like that, and the machine will still work. I don't have to rely on those save state shulker boxes that I placed at the beginning anymore. Ender pearls are going to be needed to do this setup, so I'm just going to put them in the chest. And I'm also going to light these nether portals. Now, the nether behind these has never been visited before and never been generated at all, which is very, very important for this to work. This right here is exactly where we're going to get the command block. But first, there's still one thing that I absolutely need to build for it to work. But before I do that, we're going to go into a bit of an explanation. And the explanation is how we can turn flowing water and an anvil into a command block. This is done through a process called word tearing. Word tearing is when you combine part of the binary data of one block with part of the binary data of another block, creating a brand new block. And if you take the first part of the binary data of an anvil and the second part of the binary data of water, you get a command block. But how do we get the game to think that 2 blocks are in the same place at the same time so that the binaries combine? Well, that's all thanks to something called multi-threading. But before I explain that, I basically need to place a load of random blocks in this subchunk, so between that blue line and that blue line. Basically, I need 256 different block states in this chunk so that Minecraft stores the block data for all blocks in a specific way. So this oak stairs is one block state because it's facing that way. This one's another block state because it's upside down facing that way. This one's facing a different way to that one, so it's another block state. That's a different block state, and yet this one is a different block state again. So it can be the same block, but if it's in a different state, it counts towards the 256. So yeah, there's a lot of different blocks that need to go down, so I'm going to get to work and get busy adding them. Perfect. That is all of them. And now, to turn this anvil into a command block, we need to understand multi-threading. Almost everything in Minecraft runs on a single thread. So when you flick a lever, it processes the lever, then activates the redstone dust, which activates a repeater, which activates a piston. But if you place or break a stained glass block, for some reason, the game starts a new thread where the stained glass checks for a beacon below it, and once the check is complete, the thread is closed. And by loading and populating the chunks over there that I save stated in a certain way, we can make use of the beacon thread so that that thread thinks that there's water here, and the main thread thinks that there's an anvil here. To do that, we've got to take advantage of how Minecraft populates chunks. You see, if you load a chunk for the first time, it will only populate itself with ores, trees, and liquids if the chunks in a 2x2 square next to it are generated. But if you update suppress the chunk as it is loaded, it will fail to populate the 3 chunks around it, and this allows you to get a chunk that looks like it's invisible, like this. It also turns on instant falling and instant tile ticks everywhere in the overworld. From there, if you then unload and reload a chunk next to the invisible chunk, the game will try to populate the invisible chunk again, and this time it will be successful in placing ores, trees, and liquids. And so in order to combine the binary of the anvil and the water, we need this observer line to be running on the beacon thread. And if we make the beacon thread populate an invisible chunk, that is possible. And that's basically what this entire machine does. But before I run it and explain how it works, there's one more mechanic that you have to understand. And don't worry, this one's way more straightforward. When instant tile ticks are on, observers do not behave like they usually do. Normally, if an observer detects an update, it quickly goes through the chain and outputs a signal. But now, with instant tile ticks on, observers give out 2 block updates per update they detect. So this observer will detect 1 update and give out 1 pulse for turning on and 1 pulse for turning off for a total of 2. This observer detects the pulse coming on, so gives out 2 updates, and then detects it going off, so gives out another 2 updates for a total of 4. Then this observer gives out 2 updates per pulse it receives. It's going to receive 4, so it's going to give out 8. Then this one gives out 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, and before you know it, thousands of updates. No, millions of updates. That's 2 million updates just in this line. And if you update this observer by flicking the lever, my PC takes this long to do 2 million updates. It took about 2 seconds. However, if I go ahead and add 1 more observer, which will be 4 million updates, now when I flick this lever, it takes about 4 seconds to process the update. 1 more observer would take 8 seconds. This is 16 seconds, but after 16 seconds, it does catch up and the lag ends. And if we just add a load more observers, before you know it, because the time keeps on doubling, we have an observer line that when flicked will take 1 billion hours to complete. Yes, that's over 1,000 centuries, or 100,000 years. Basically, we're not going to be around by the time this finishes. I'm basically just going to have to kill my game using Task Manager. There's no other way to stop it. But yeah, that mechanic with the observers is critical in successfully getting a command block. So, let's now run the machine and I'll explain how it works. To begin with, I need to stand next to this wall and relog. That basically just resets which chunks are and aren't loaded. And now, from this position, I need to wait 45 seconds for an autosave to occur. If I don't do that, it won't work. Next, I flick this lever, which loads the chunks around the chunk that we're going to update suppress, and then flicking this lever loads more chunks, which makes the game try to populate a chunk, but because it's an update suppression line, it gets stopped, which makes this chunk invisible and turns on instant falling and instant tile ticks. Then we move over here and flick this lever. Because instant tile ticks are on, this observer line takes a lot longer to complete, creating a 5-second lag spike. During that lag spike, I press this button, which makes the dragon eggs fall, and in the same tick, all 2,000 stained glass is destroyed. This will create 2,000 new beacon threads that will execute, one after another. And the final glass to be destroyed is in this chunk, which creates one last beacon thread. Because it has to wait for all the other beacon threads to finish in this chunk, it'll be scheduled to run after them. And whilst it's scheduled, still in the same tick, the player moves over here, which unloads the beacon chunk. Pressing this button then cancels the unloading of all the other chunks, and when the final beacon thread finally runs, it loads the chunk back in, but this time it's the beacon thread that's done it, and not the main thread. That in turn populates this invisible chunk right next to it, which places a water pocket next to this stone because the game thinks it's part of a cave. That updates the budded rails, which is detected by an observer line, which means you have an observer line that is running on the beacon thread, not on the main thread. And if I right-click these, you can see that they are pulsed on and off. They're just updating so much that they look like they're permanently on or off until you right-click them. And this is called an async observer line. This async observer line is updating the blocks over here, and if I was to flick this, it means there's a chance for word tearing to occur. But before I can do that, I need to turn off instant falling for it to work, otherwise my game will just crash. So right now, as you can see, instant falling is on, the sand falls instantly, instant tile ticks are on as well. And to turn off instant falling, I just have to load chunks of the nether that have never been visited before, which is why I had to build this machine so far away. Now that I've done that, instant falling is switched off, but instant tile ticks are still on. And I can then start flicking this lever and hopefully get a command block. First time, as you can see, nothing happened. And if that happens, it means the word tearing is basically frozen this bottom observer. This one's still pulsing, this one's frozen. I just have to extend this piston and put it back, and now this is once again pulsing again, and I can once again try and combine the binary data, and we basically just keep going. And one of the things we can get is a log. Basically, you get a log if the binary data gets combined back to front. We need it to combine a certain way for it to be a command block, so we just go again, and if we keep trying. You get a command block eventually. Look at that. We have done it. I've got a command block completely in vanilla survival, and that was the easiest. I want to get this as an item in my inventory, and that's where things get really complicated, because we need to trick the game into thinking that this command block is a falling piece of sand. And to do that, I'm going to need a whole new machine. So I'm going to reset this one, and to turn off instant tile ticks, I just need to fly far away and populate a new chunk that places a liquid pocket. I'll know if I've been successful, because water will be slow. Okay, yeah, we've done it. Building this new machine is going to require me to remove loads of these redstone items, and also place a torch right here. That's very important. It might not look like it now, but it is. I'll also need to remove this platform up here of block states. There we go. And now to head out and go get the missing redstone items. A bunch of obsidian is going to be very important, and slime is going to be needed as well. Gunpowder will be handy because this machine uses TNT, and I also need a bunch of redstone items. And I now should have enough sand to make the remaining TNT. Yeah, that's absolutely loads. And this shulker box has all of the other needed items. A lot of creepers were sacrificed for all that TNT, and a lot of desert pyramids raided. Right here is the spot that the machine is going to be built, and this water is going to push TNT along because we're going to need a headless piston to destroy rogue command blocks that would otherwise break the machine. You'll soon see what I mean. And this obsidian ensures that the rest of the machine doesn't get blown up. I've connected up the observers that are going to make the multi-threading happen, because these are going to be 2 async observer lines connected to that repeater. I'll explain exactly how and why that works very, very shortly. But that is the build completely done. I've just got to add a few extra observers, fill this chest with TNT, and add walls that will catch the command blocks when they fall out of the machine. And I've also added a staircase so I can easily get up and down without my light. So, to turn that piece of sand into a falling command block, we need to do what is known as the generic method. And once again, like we did there, we need to use word tearing, but because we don't now have those 256 different block states in the chunk, word tearing works differently because the binary for the blocks is stored differently. Instead, the game assigns to each block in the chunk a number. So this torch right here is number 1. There's nothing next to it, so the next block that is in this line is number 2, the command block, and then this sand. That is assigned number 2 in binary, and that is number 3 in binary. With the binary of air, which is all zeros, we get the binary for the number 2, which changes to a command block just as it starts to fall, and you get a falling command block. So we need 3 threads to make this happen. 1 thread which changes the block to air, that happens on the main thread when the piston moves the sand. Then a second thread which is constantly updating the sand, giving it a chance to set the falling sand to be a falling air block. And then the third thread performs word tearing on the sand to combine its binary with air to turn it into a command block. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes you get a falling air block, which basically is the same as nothing happening. Sometimes you get a command block that isn't falling, it just gets stuck there. And every now and again, the stars align and you get a falling command block that this wall is going to catch and keep in a falling block state. I can only hope. But first things first, I need to use this machine twice to get not 1, but 2 observer lines and keep them both loaded. How am I going to do that? Well, it is all thanks to ender pearls. So as before, we're going to stand by this wall and relog the world. So now, after waiting 45 seconds so that an autosave occurs, we flick this lever, we flick this lever. This lever creates a lag spike. We press this button and this button during that lag spike, and we get async observer line number 1. In fact, you can actually see them flashing and updating in real time. It's kind of crazy. From there, I'm just going to stand by this portal and wait for the next autosave. And now that that has happened, we head back over here to perform the same thing again. But this time, we can't relog because we have to keep that observer line loaded. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the ender pearls come in. Because we can reset the machine by doing this. I'm going to stand against this trapdoor right here, and I'm going to look at this specific part of the glass, throw an ender pearl, and it lands me right by the wall, and that is going to correctly unload and load the chunks that need to be, and that means that I can perform this again. An autosave has just happened now, so I'm going to flick this lever, do the exact same thing again, press this button, and as you can see over here, we now have async line number 2. This one seems to be fine. This one seems to be stuck in an on state, so I'm going to break it and place it back down. There we go, that seems to have solved the problem. And as long as this one is blinking, that is directly above the sign, and this one as well, which is to the right of it, the machine is going to work. But there's also one more thing we've got to do, because once again, instant falling is on. We can't have that. So we're going to send an item through this portal, which loads different chunks to that one, and now instant falling is off. We've still got instant tile ticks on. And still, we are not done, because that piston up there needs to be a headless one. And to solve that issue, we need to break this redstone block. I've got to make sure I don't screw anything up here, otherwise everything breaks. But yeah, we break that redstone block, and we also need to break this one. If we place this one back down now, you'll see TNT gets released. And, okay, we've got it going. Okay, I've just fallen off my own machine. But that piston is now a headless one, as you can see. Some of the observers have disappeared. That just happens with async lines. I'm going to have to replace them. So we put that back. It stops the machine. Headless piston in place. Let's get this observer placed back under there. It should, yeah, it's flashed. That's perfect. Same issue here. One disappeared. Easily solved. And now, as far as I'm aware, the machine is ready. We just need to flick this, which sets those pistons off. This basically just moves those observers there.
Hello, Noah.
In and out every now and again, in case they get stuck.
How are you doing today?
And basically, the command block machine is running. There's 3 threads.
She know I'm not gonna go now.
On this sand block, and you have about a 1 in 100 chance for a command block to spawn that gets stuck, which the headless piston will destroy, and you have a 1 in 1,000 chance to get a falling command block. Yeah, those are kind of crazy odds, I know. Basically, you'll probably get one roughly every 40 minutes. There we go. I think we got a command block. Yes, we did. So, did you see how it just got destroyed then? Headless piston destroys it. The TNT creates another headless piston. Looks like the same thing's happened again. I didn't see it because I was up there adding some more blocks. I think I needed more block stakes to increase the pallet size, but yeah, one has dropped down. If I go ahead and mine this, as you can see, we've got a command block in our...
Damn, that's a lot of people.
I said we're not only going to get a command block, we're going to farm the command block. I can't believe I missed it. I was stood here for ages waiting and I missed it, but we're going to farm this command block. So...
There's a lot of people playing it at a time.
We got one. We got another one. Managed to get not one, but 2 of these on camera. I told you guys. Command block farm, and it's actually farm
I might play Pet Sims new update today. I have no clue yet.
And now I've got 3 of these. That's insane. So I'm gonna put the wall back and then leave this machine to run for ages.
Because I feel like the update is a bit mid. Now this is what I've been looking for. Oh. Okay. Okay, I need to do something real quick. Okay, so I'm trying to get some diamonds because I'm gonna need quite a bit of diamonds for what I'm gonna be doing. Actually, I'll put that in there.
7 weeks to do, so if you could please subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. I put a lot of work into this video. And if you'd like to see more crazy projects, then check out this video on screen where I built a farm that lets me get unlimited bedrock block. Or there's also this video where I use orange
Here we are.
to get unlimited lightning bolts and control the weather in Minecraft.
Nothing there.
The Minecraft marketplace has gotten a lot better since the very first launch.
Oof.
Stuck around.
Bit hot today.
There's a lot of stuff that's really overpriced in my opinion and doesn't seemingly have a good reason to be. It feels like some of the prices on the marketplace are random, especially when you have two of the exact same map cost drastically different prices. Maybe there's a method to the madness, which is what I'll be testing today. Are these overpriced marketplace packs worth the money, or are they just all scams? And we are going to look at a map, we're going to look at a texture pack and an add-on to really, encapsulate the whole marketplace. And I think we're going to start with the add-on, because that's the least egregious in my opinion. Now, some of these at the top I actually think are pretty decent, but if you scroll a little bit, we got this armor add-on. Very vague, it's $8, and it seemingly just adds armor to the game. And there's a lot of these, as we can see, armor plus plus. It's cheaper, I don't know, let me look up armor with an add-on thing.
What's the new pet sim update gonna be anyway? Is it a good? Oh, I need to turn off my keybinds.
Best thing ever. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to see if it is. So let's get into it. I'm gonna go into creative.
There you go.
Not playing through the game with it on, we're just checking it out. Turn on cheats, make sure it's on, it's on.
It's quite a bit of diamonds here.
Alright. Got a guidebook. I'm really not expecting to have my socks done.
Ah.
Alright, these are all the armors.
I just found the update. Not like I just don't like the grow pet garden. It's annoying. Mate. It's just annoying. And I don't enjoy it. I just hate it a lot. There's skeletons over there.
So if I hit something, will it get weakness? Or wait, no. Do I just do more damage from range? That's so lame. I can't lie. So like if I slash summon Warden, can I like one-shot this dude if I'm across the map? 1, 2. This isn't what wizards do. I don't think it works unless I read that wrong. I probably did. I don't know. Let's just kill this dude. He's a little loud, Sorry. Oh, give me a second. There we go. Maybe I'm not meant to be a wizard. Maybe oh, give me fire prop when I'm okay.
Spider jockey. Well, not anymore. I feel like I should stop being dangerous right now. Water's bugged. Oh. That is extremely broken for PvP, but in my setting, it doesn't matter at all because I'm alone. Can you? I get resistance. Is that all? Provides you with resistance, inflicts all nearby entities with weakness and blindness, granting you the element of surprise. So many spawners. You dumb chicken. This guy's blind. You just have to believe me, he's blind right now. A lot of this is like, maybe I should have got a friend for this. What about dragon? This better let me fly, by the way. Oh, that's awesome. It doesn't really work that well, but the idea's there. It kind of bounces off the block. Is that all it does? Dragon armor. That uses
misses. You are able to fire a fireball when crouching. Yeah, I don't know how useful that is compared. The other ones just seem kind of like useful for survival. Let me see, is there any other ones that really get me going, that get me interested? Frost armor gets me interested. Can I become Frozone? Does this turn? It is Frostwalker. We love that. Kind of all the time Frostwalker though might get annoying. Oh, that's actually awesome. Will convert powdered snow into snow. Nearby entities will periodically receive frost damage as if they are in powdered snow. Let's test that. If I go near a little pig, this chicken, are you about to freeze to death, chicken? Does this, oh, it does work. Oh my god, how good is this armor? Game Mode S. It's iron armor, but you're frozen, man. They don't really take damage very often, though, with the frozen thing. I don't know how useful that would, oh, he just died. Never mind. Maybe it is cool. These are all, like, great for very specific situations. It's so interesting. Like, the sponge armor makes you a living sponge. That's, like, useful if you're trying to clear an ocean, but, like, any other time, that's not really that useful. I'm just looking through the
There we
book
go.
here, trying to see if there's any other fun ones. Oh, TNT armor? Come on now. This says anytime something hits me, it blows up, and I get blast protection. Hold on, Game Mode S. Let's slash summon a spider and blow it up. You're dead, kid. That's awesome. Slash summon warden. Okay. So, I forgot that the warden's actually, like, good at the game. Oh, this one's fun. This will be a little final one. Apparently, if I wear this shulker armor, everything around me just randomly levitates. This innocent sleeping fox. Let's traumatize it. Hello, innocent fox. Oh, what's that? That jump scared me, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, are you flying now? Oh, no. Oh, there's a family! No!
Oh, it's actually quite a lot of diamonds, actually.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's okay. Yes, go back to sleep. Nothing bad will ever happen. Oh no. Oh my god, it died. You know what? I'm gonna kill the baby. No evidence. That was this little add-on. It wasn't, I mean, we started with it for a reason, right? It wasn't, like, egregious by any means. It wasn't, like, this isn't bad. I don't think this is, like, badly made or anything. Do
I
think
feel like I
it's
should get a diamond
a bug?
beacon.
Kinda crazy for this. Like, it doesn't really
Like, a
change
full diamond
like,
beacon
game
would go
changes it,
hard.
like, I think the more you charge, the more of the game it should change. You know what I'm saying? Like, a realism craft should be expensive, because that thing's insane. But, like, this, I don't know. And, like I kind of pointed out, there are different versions of it. It obviously won't be the exact same, but, like,
Oh,
there are
hi.
so many of these random armor add-ons on the marketplace. So, would I say it's a scam? Sure. I don't feel too strongly about it, though. It just kind of is. You know, it's just kind of, it's a little expensive. It's nothing crazy. I'm not raging about it. But, you know, game's the game. You know what I mean? Some people gotta make a living. I don't shame them for it. But anyway, now let's move on to the next one, which is a texture pack. And we'll see. It might be, oh, my game is crashed. GG's. Well, maybe it is terrible. I don't even know. Alright, this next one is called, I think it's called Light HD. There it is. Let's actually point this out first. So, if you go to the marketplace, you sort it price high to low, and then you sort it by texture pack. I think this is up there. Yep, it's top 3. Actions and stuff is number 1, which it should be. This is what I mean. Like, actions and stuff is more than a pack. It deserves to be number 1. This second one I don't know enough about, but Light HD. This is $8 once again, and it just looks like shaders. It's obviously a texture pack, but I don't know. A lot of times with these shader packs, they make it look more beautiful than it is. Like, you want to see how many of these there are? Let's look up realism. Here's a shader one. They make it look absolutely beautiful. I think, yeah, I played this on the channel. We got another one. This one, you can tell is bad because they can't even make the screenshot look good. But you get my point. There's so many of these, and Light HD is kind of that similar vibe, except it's way more expensive. So, like we are going to do with everything else, let's see. Does it deserve to be more expensive? Because it might, you know? Who knows? Alright, here we go. Bought some more mine coins. Gotta purchase this. By the way, you should subscribe, please. I actually spend money for these videos. It's only like 30 bucks. You know, I'm not going to be homeless or anything, but I would appreciate it if you subbed. It would mean a lot. Approaching 350K, so help me get there. Anyway, we got Light HD on, and it does not appear that they changed the background. That's not good. Let's go on a world. Let's go on this world. 100 Reasons video. You know. Alright, this better when they did this. So you know what? Let's just kill the dragon. Why don't we? Let's murder this guy and go to the overworld. Alright, there he goes. Now let's go to the overworld. This is clearly what this is made for, not the end. The end looks the exact same, so that's a little worrying. But let's check this out. Alright, here we are. My frames just died. Alright, well, for starters, I don't have a crosshair, which might be a Bedrock bug. I can't even tell anymore because this game is busted. Okay, but I do like the animated leaves. This is actually not terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Everything is animated and it all looks the same. It's just kind of trippy because like the vines move the same way this moves, the same way this moves, and I don't know if I like that. But I like that they at least try. The flowers move the exact same way. Of course they do. I think you could hypnotize someone if you just. You probably could. Anyway, I like the fog. The fog looks nice. The sun is the sun. They can only do so much, I guess. Maybe we do, like, get perfect screenshots for the marketplace. What else do I... Oh, the water. A lot of, like, good shaders have cool-looking water, like animated water. Is this It's very clear. It's kind of hard to see. That does look kind of ripply. This isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it should be $8. I mean, maybe it should be. What do I know? But, like, this is actually not awful. Okay, let's see. What about lava? Does lava look cool? That looks pretty typical. That looks how you... Oh my god, how you think? Oh, the mobs. Oh my god, the mobs always kill these packs. So many of these realism packs try to make the mobs look real, and they just end up looking like freaks every time. Like, these sheep and stuff will look normal. This dude looks normal for the most part, but watch this. I'm gonna spawn a creeper, and it's gonna look like an abomination. Okay, what about like a spider? Okay, that doesn't look bad at all, actually. Okay, this isn't actually terrible. We gotta check the fishing rod. You know, I'm like the only person that cares about this. Dude, low-key, back in the day, I probably would have used this pack to, like, PvP, I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day, I used to only use marketplace packs for PvP, and I would have been down bad enough to use this. Alright, let's go in a cave. Let's just see what it's like. Okay, the cave, oh my god.
Oh,
Really?
Jungle Temple.
Stupid things is here. Okay, the cave is fun vibes. Green fog in the lush cave. Okay, come on. But what I wanted to test is in one of the screenshots they held a torch and it like illuminated. Okay, it's just an effect. It doesn't actually light up the area. You just hold it and it looks shiny. I don't know if they can even do like the, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like where you hold a torch and it like actually lights up the area around you. I don't know if they can do that in a pack, but this is at least trying. Alright, let's go see a sunset or something though. That's what all of these are the best at, is the good old sunsets. Time set sunset. Alright, wow. This looks exactly what I thought it would look like. Cinema. This is cinema right here. The moon is gigantic. Holy moly. That sunset is pretty cool. It's definitely, I think Vibrant Visuals is better, but I also think it's supposed to be better. So, got the moon. Alright, that's pretty much the sunset right there. It's going down. It's almost gone. Let's set it to, like, pitch darkness now. Time set midnight. Oh, I like that. Oh, I love that. Okay, that doesn't look bad at all. Does the zombie have red pants? What have we done? Why did you give him red pants? Why are bro's eyes across his face from each other? They're social distancing, bro. What are you doing? No. What's the skeleton look like? Looks about how I thought it would. What about a villager? Oh, there's so many different kinds. They don't look terrible, though. What about a witch? It looks like the villager. Yeah, all the mobs look not as bad as I thought they would. Okay, well, I don't think this is terrible. I don't actually hate this at all. I played that other one for a different video. It was called, like, Realism Shapes or something. It was, like, this is better than that. I'll admit it. Once again, do I think it should be $8? I don't. I think this should be, like, 5 or 6. I don't know. I mean, that does sound kind of crazy to, like, have to pay for texture packs to some people, but that's just the nature of the game for the marketplace. I just don't think anything should be like more than $10. There's some stuff on the marketplace that's like $20, which we will get to the top thing of all time is a skin pack. This is completely a scam. Okay, it's such a scam and so worthless that I can't even make a video out of it because it's just skins. But if you scroll down a little bit, you will notice Lucky Block Castle. And if I click on this, this is $18. And you might notice, what's that? There's one with the exact same name right underneath it. Well, that's because if you look up Lucky Block Castle, there's 47 of them, and not all of them are $18. This one's $4. How is this any different than the other one? This is what I mean. Are the prices just random? We have another. This is Lucky Castle. This one's $1. What is the difference? They're all the same. Lucky Blocks Castle. This one's $4. This is the exact same thing. What makes this one 18? Let's just play it. I know it's a scam. I know I'm about to be enraged the entire time, but you know what? I'm aware of it. At least, you know what I mean? I'm about to be convinced of like 40 stories and you know what? I don't know. Alright, here we are. We're on the map. Maybe it won't be bad. Maybe it won't be bad. I just gotta remember to spend $18 on this. The mansion is at least you've been introduced to a whole new world of magical surprises. Let's break some lucky blocks and find out what's in store for you. Will you be lucky and find some diamonds? Or will you be unlucky and get struck by lightning? Alright, I wonder. And we get a bunch of different kinds of lucky blocks. Alright, yellow lucky block. I wonder what it'll bring me. Sapling and cookie. Wow, another sapling, cookie, wooden pickaxe. Sapling, wooden, diamond boot, iron chest plate. Does anything ever bad happen to me? there's TNT right there. Oh, more TNT. I guess that's the bad one. There's a bunch of different colors of lucky blocks, so you know what, maybe one of them does. Oh, I just have them with me, I forgot. Okay, blue. Gold, do they all do the same thing? Oh, never mind. Like, do I just not watch enough YouTube shorts or something? Do I need to rot my brain a little bit to, like, get into this? I just can't, I don't get it at all. I wonder what purple block do. Sapling! Stick! Oh my god! Milk bucket! Oh! You see that? There's no way! Burning skeletons! Oh my god! You're so lucky! Diamond chest plate! Oh my god! What do people use this for? You know what I mean? Do people, like, buy this and play survival? Is that what they do? I don't know. Zombie or fast zombie? Okay, at least it's fast. It seems like the
Oh,
items
that's...
are the exact same for everyone. It seems like the mobs are the same, or like the bad stuff is mostly the same. I just got the zombies again. Does like the color of the block even matter? These ones are red, so surely they'll be evil, right? Or they'll just be the exact same thing as all the other ones. They're literally all the same. They're just different colors. Oh my god, dude. This is so bad. Can Microsoft, like, regulate it a little bit? Like, can you not allow people to just list things, whatever? Theoretically, could I become a marketplace partner and then ask you to send me $100 for, like, like a dirt house or something? Like, I don't get it. It's literally all the same. It's just the zombies, the TNT, and the Vindicators. Dude, the worst part is that they got me, too. I bought it. You know? I mean, they didn't get me. I didn't buy it because I was like, devious plan. I mean, this would be fun if you, like, play with a friend or something, but I feel like it gets boring in, like, 2 seconds. The fun of the Lucky Block is that, like, it either gives you something cool or you get absolutely decimated. That's kind of, I mean, for me at least, that's why I think it's fun. Because, like, the bad stuff is so unavoidable that you're just cooked. Alright, well, I've officially gone through all of them, all of the lucky blocks. Let's go in game mode to, like, truly appreciate this build, because it did cost me $18. It's only right that I get to appreciate it fully. I didn't even own the castle. That's, like, the whole point, is that it's Lucky Block Castle. Isn't this a grand room? This is
Fair enough though.
this is why people hate the marketplace. They legit were too lazy to make a full
I mean,
so they
at
just
least they got
copied
people interested in
copy
their games, so
Are we for real? All right, guys, let's go upstairs. I bet it's gonna be an open
so it's
world.
fair enough.
It's gonna be the exact same. Oh no, a bell.
Um,
Do you see there's a bell too?
I also
What about up here? What's up here?
got some more diamonds,
Same thing, split in half. Literally, you can look at it bar for bar.
so got a lot more diamonds.
They were different colors. They might have put an effort. Oh, no.
Uh,
Or they just changed the color of wool. This one's the same room but pink. Yeah. This makes me sad. Well, there you go. That was Lucky Block Castle. That was $18 on the marketplace. These trees go forever. Did they change every tree?
gold.
Nearby. Is every tree in this world gonna be Lucky Block?
Yeah,
Every tree.
I'm gonna guess 6
You
mil.
know what? I give them credit for that. Every tree is Lucky Blocked. However, they did just change the leaf thing. This is birch.
I'm gonna guess 6
I
mil,
guess there's just
maybe
every
more.
type of leaf. Good on them, I guess. I don't really know. Don't think I need to even ask the question, but I will anyway. Is this a scam? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is a scam. This might be this is bad. Okay, you can literally see where they world edited in a sphere.
But
This is
I don't think I'm ever gonna play Grow Garden because I'm probably not gonna be excited with the game, so I don't think I'll get interested with it. I see a blacksmith. I think that's a well. Damn. Need to find a big cave. Damn, nothing there. Oh, jungle temple. Okay, let's see. Damn, there's nothing good in there.
Alright, so unlike last time I played this, I actually know nothing about this new update thing. I have no idea what they added, to be honest with you, but we're just gonna run it either way. I'm gonna give myself a few challenges. Challenge number 1, I need to go to every single nether biome. So that is the Soul Sand Valley, that Magma Cube one, the red one, the blue one, and the normal one. I don't know what they're all called, I'm sorry. That's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2, I'm gonna try to find at least 5 new structures in the nether. I don't know if there even is that many, but I'm gonna try.
Okay, I see a cave there.
Number 3 is to
Oh, this could be a good one.
pretty easy, but that's just so that I have like a
Okay.
incentive to go find a fortress.
I'm gonna get some carrots because I'm in need of carrots right now. Okay, did that.
We're here for the nether. So I'm gonna try to speed run this bit as quick as I can. Maybe I'll find a structure I didn't find in the last video, but I found most of them.
Okay, that scared me.
For like years. People can vouch. I'm just gonna try to get as much as I can to prepare me for the nether, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of nether exploration. So,
Okay.
a little montage of me getting loot, why don't we? Wait, I didn't see this last time. There's a cherry biome right here. Let's go up there. That's fun. That montage was like 4 seconds long, but I want to see if they even changed the cherry biome. We got a massive cave right there, so I'll probably do my mining down there. But let's go up here, man. Maybe there's something cool up here.
Carrot farming.
This biome isn't really that different from the original one. It's fun. I'm surprised they actually changed it, to be honest with you. Oh, hey, we got some iron right here. Alrighty. Well, let me get more loot, I guess. Now, we're all here to see the nether update, so I think it's smart to just summarize the loot that I'm getting instead of wasting a bunch of time showing you. I found some nearby iron and had enough to make a bucket, a pickaxe, and a shield. Then I went down in that big cave that I found
Okay, oh, where's the gold? There it is.
My own nether portal. I mined not only a bunch of iron here, but also enough gold to make a helmet and not get any piggies mad at me when I'm in the nether. I also found a lot of diamonds and decided to make diamond boots for myself. Things were going pretty good. The only problem was this cave had no lava pool in sight. So
I'm
after I
hoping this
felt
is
like I
enough.
explored it pretty well, I decided to strip mine until I found a lava pool. And after 10 minutes of zero success, I eventually ran into an 8 vein of diamonds.
No!
While mining them, this happened.
Why is the game like
There's
this?
stuff around me. There's warden stuff here. I'm not about to mess with that. There's a shrieker, dude. Yeah, I'm out. Okay. I just
Honestly, why is the game always switching it?
right here. So
Actually
instead of just
stupid.
dying,
What
I'm gonna
the
just
fuck?
dig up and live to see another day. Thoughts? I guess we are doing the nether thing after all. The ruined portal lava. I don't know, whatever. I can make a diamond pickaxe now, so I can either do that and we go to the nether, or I just find one of their ruined portals.
That's a lot of gold that I just wasted as well. That got wasted because of it.
Right now, that's just not it. I'm good. So the plan now is to
Oh,
dig straight up, then
okay.
wander around until I find.
Now I just need to not use
Even though I
that.
can now craft a diamond pick and just mine obsidian, I really didn't want to. I would rather make a chest plate with the diamonds. So I was hoping to find a ruined portal that had like lava around it that I could just turn into obsidian with water. But I would take any ruined portal, to be honest. And after a very, very, very long journey throughout nature, I could finally see a ruined portal in the distance. I think I see a ruined portal finally in the distance. Hopefully there's lava there. If there isn't, I'm just making a pickaxe, bro. I do not care. It appears that there is indeed lava there. There's also another ruined portal right there, too. So,
Okay.
case here, and I don't have to break anything. Look at that. I'm gonna grab this. I'm going to build this portal real quick, hopefully, potentially. Alright, the portal's built. I'm gonna get this chest and this gold block. Guys, we can finally enter the nether. Isn't this incredible? After 20 years of waiting, it's finally time. Alright, now I don't have to worry about leaving the nether because
I do not think that this cave is gonna be good at all. I think it's gonna be a bad cave.
So I'm gonna use these diamonds to make a chest plate. Boom. I'm going to make an
Yes,
extra iron pickaxe.
not a good
I'm not
cave.
too worried about food because there's little piggies in there. I can kill them for food. So set my spawn, hopefully, and I think it's time to see the new nether. Like I said, I know nothing about this. The first realism craft video I did, I already knew a decent amount of stuff about the mod. This time I know nothing. And before we enter, I'm gonna go over the things I need to complete, my 3 little quests here. You ready? First one, need to explore all 5 of the
Oh, there we go, we're in the
nether
big cave again.
find them. I need to secondly discover 5 structures. I don't even know if there will be 5 structures, but if there isn't, I'll just give up halfway through. And lastly, I
Okay, looks like
skeleton skull, which
that
might
was
be
a waste
go right on in.
of
Here we
a
go.
cave
See how
right
they
there.
changed the nether, and we're in. Starting off in the blue
It's
biome.
now time to go look for some other cave.
What was that? Don't do that to me. Okay, there's little berry. This is cool.
There we go,
Lots of
some more diamonds.
here. Anyway, this is the first biome.
Or
Did I already
diamond.
find a structure?
Now
Why
another
do these
one.
things jump scare me? Did I already find it? What is this? A piglin village?
No.
Ooh. Netherite leggings? Oh my god! You guys can die. Straight up, you can die. I have netherite leggings. Wait, I'm dead. Wait, okay, I found netherite leggings, but I'm still gonna die. Witherbone? What is a witherbone? Okay, well, you know, check one thing, one structure, and one biome.
Oh, there we go, another diamond.
I found a pillager village. These guys are rich. They have just casually have netherite armor laying around. Unfortunately, I do think I need to kill them. Oh my god, they have the Holy Grail in here. Okay, wait, this place is interesting.
Oh, a
These guys aren't mad
spawner.
at me. I need to heal back up. I should get like golden apples or something. Maybe this place has some. This is sweet. Okay, what? Will they get mad if I break this? No, they won't. Alright, let's steal their gold. Let me block up all the exits and just mine everything that they have. The Endermen are so loud in this, dude. And these stinking things keep jump scaring me.
Smooth flying right there.
I need to try and destroy
Okay.
all the spawners if I can. This is really dangerous, actually. I'm just gonna sit here until they forget
It
about
really
me.
dropped
What if
there.
by the time I'm through this place, I just have full netherite? Would that be gas? That would be sweet.
Nope, nothing there.
Dude, the Endermen are so loud. Shut up.
I'm not finding any good cave. What is this?
Are you guys mad at me still? They're no longer mad at me. Alright, what else do you guys got in here? Nice little house. The Enderman
Hello.
won't shut up. Oh my god, stop talking.
Blacksmith?
This is sweet. This should just be in the
No,
new
but
game.
there's a
I said
cave.
that so much last video, but it is so true. This is such a good idea for a nether structure. Because, like, I get that they're supposed to live in the bastions, but let's be real now, okay? You would not want to live there. This is more homey. Anyway, I might have looked at that Enderman. We got one more chest. Netherite boots. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, bro. And there's casually a blaze rod in here. Dude, this is steak? This place is so good for loot. Alright, the pigs might be mad at me, but I have like 3/4 netherite, so we're chilling. Anyway, one structure down and blue biome down. I need to get out
Ooh.
of here somehow. They updated this, as you would know,
Deep
if you
dark.
could read the title. But in this update, it's so much louder now. I don't know why it's so loud. Like, I
I don't have my fortune, so I can't use it.
Anyway, are we exiting the blue biome now?
Even though it's
How is
probably
it
going to be
weird?
useless
It's like a
because of
weird
the amount of
spot.
levels I have.
I don't know, it's not really open or as open as I'm used to.
Oh.
It's very, you know, the roof is like tiny and stuff. I think there's an opening right here. Let's see.
Diamonds.
There is. Look at that. Alright, what else do you have to offer? This is technically biome number 2. This biome's pretty lame, though. There's not much here in the base game, and I'm assuming there's not going to be much here now. What is this? Just some plant? There's like a spiky plant.
Wee.
The zombie pigmen actually look like zombies. What are you? You are a freak. Okay,
Oh, more diamonds.
I actually say it really often. Wait, what is this? Wait, hold on. What? Did I just find another structure? Whoa! There's lava creepers? What is that about? Why is there lava creepers? I need to get rid of this real quick. Oh my god, a nether mine shaft. How creative! Look at this. There's lava creepers. That's crazy. Give me a netherite chest plate. Dude, these chests are insane. Netherite ingot, half diamond. Oh my. Why was this not in the game when I played the first time? Okay, well, no netherite, which is a crime. I only take netherite armor. How dare you try to scam me? Anyway, let's loot this netherite mine shaft. This is structure number 2.
No,
Also
diamonds.
number 2. There's some TNT right there. That's kind of scary.
Let's go down this
There's
way.
ancient debris. Okay. This makes it so much easier to get stacked, bro. Let's see if I can find netherite armor, or more netherite armor in a chest. Hello, creeper. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Alright, don't mind me.
Oh, diamonds.
What just happened? Is this place about to implode or something? Is it like a storm? Is there nether storms now? Okay, well, that was structure number 2. I don't know what's happening, but I'm still scared. We're just gonna casually kill this ghast. Don't mind me. That's a sick-looking zombie pigman, dude. Okay, there's like a nether storm. This is kind of
Damn, I need to learn how to
nether bats.
bridge in that.
2 for 2, still no nether fortress. I don't really know where to go from here. It's kind of a dead end. Maybe we dig down? Maybe there's something down here, you know? Oh, here we go. This nether seems very tunnel-y compared to the default one. I don't know if I'm just getting bad spawns or something, but I feel like I'm finding a lot more like caves in this than just open area. Whoa! Wait, this looks cool. Oh my god, what is that? I keep just finding sick structures. What is this now? Like some castle? Hold up. Or is this like an updated bastion or something? I have no idea. It's, oh my god, this is a bastion. Okay, I need to be careful. This is so cool, bro. I'm so glad I played this. I don't even know if this will do well on YouTube, but this is so fun. Okay, so bastions are a little deadly because of the pigman story. Let's see what's missing here. Oh, look at the piglin brew. That guy's not fun. I don't wanna tangle with that guy. Okay, the loot so far has been absolutely broken, so as soon as I continue, now everything's gonna be mad at me. Okay, they'll probably
I barely get any levels. Unless, oh yeah, it's for the Elytra, so that makes sense.
See, there we go.
Oh, more diamonds.
One into the lava. I think I hit him back on the left. If I did. Hold up, this is the strat. There we go. Now he's down there too. I need to destroy this magma cube spawner. I'm gonna go down a level. Hopefully there's nothing here waiting for me. I don't think there is. Nope, there isn't.
This is
Let's see if I can
quite
destroy
far,
this
good
thing.
cave.
Look at how many magma
Another
cubes
spawner.
the magma cubes are an issue. I don't know how to deal with them, to be honest. There's so many. This is like my least favorite Minecraft mob. Do you guys know that? Magma cubes? I actually hate them. They're just like the most annoying thing ever. Like there's no incentive to kill these things except if you're trying to get magma cream. Because it's like if I kill one, then more just spawn and you get overwhelmed and die. Oh yeah, this is a problem. I'm dipping. I do not want to die. And then I spent the next 3 or 4 minutes fighting for my life against these magma cubes, all to just get the one chest in the middle of this bastion. These things are seriously a crime. Like, whoever, I don't know. I hate these stupid things. They're not even creative. They're just nether slimes. And they're 12 times more annoying. And they spawn everywhere. And if you kill one, there's 27 of them. These things are awful. Okay? And I'm gonna stand on that forever. Any magma cube lovers in the comments, go ahead and roast me. But we all know it's true. Okay? Anyway, after killing what felt like hundreds of magma cubes, I was finally all alone and could open this chest and see what riches were inside. Alright, I think finally I can see what's in here. And it's nothing. I got a diamond sword, more stupid wither bones. This was not really that useful, I'll be honest. And now I have to somehow escape. I think we just go up here, right? I did all of that. I just killed like 47 magma cubes for the worst loot I've gotten so far. It really just feels less important when every chest has full netherite. I feel like a god. Alright, well that's structure number 3. To be honest with you, I didn't think I would find so many. Like I thought it would be more difficult. Is there more? Oh my god, that's so cool. Dude, God, Microsoft, you're slacking, okay? You guys are slacking. The Nether Ruin portals have overworld things in them. That makes so much more sense because the overworld portals have like nether stuff at them. So why not have it the other way around here, dude? That is so cool. Is there a chest here? I bet it's buried in sand if there is. I don't really know if there's a chest here, but that's cool. I don't know if I should count that as a structure or not. Let's see how hard it is to find one. What do you guys think? Let's go find one right here so we can check this one off the list and I'll do 2 more. Let's go check out this basalt delta. It doesn't look very big, to be honest with you, but we'll go to it anyway. This is infamously the magma cube biome, and as you
Let's
just
see if we can find some more diamonds.
see, what's so incredible about this is they're doing it better than like Microsoft can, and it's not like they're doing anything really crazy either. Like they're not adding like insanely new things to this. What was that? Did you hear that? They're not adding insanely new things. Like all of this is technically in the game. It's just like so much better than the existing thing. Like why not just make a mesa biome in the Nether for the Ruin portal? It makes too much sense. Alright, I can't tell. That's either a new structure or I found the fortress. We're gonna see. I better not have looked you in the eyes, Enderman. There's some right here. I kinda
Diamonds.
fortress. This place looks sick. Oh my god, this looks amazing. Oh, there's another storm. Brace yourselves, viewers. There's a nether storm. Okay, is this the fortress? Is this a bastion? It's a bastion. I found another type of bastion. Oh, there's a brute. Uh-oh. Well, I guess this is structure number 3 or 4. I don't know. Depends how you look at it. We're gonna kill the brute really quick. Hopefully we can kill the brute. I might have to use some fishing rod tactics again. Dude, these are so cool. Honestly, I think normal bastions are also pretty cool, but like, you know, it's just nice to have something refreshing. Like,
Okay, this should have diamonds in it. I don't wanna. I don't want to have the most embarrassing Minecraft death. Okay.
that isn't more social about transforming factions. They just look like monsters. Alright. And
Meow.
that counts as a fresh structure. I'm not really worried about the structure challenge anymore. I think my goal is to find a red biome, a Soul Sand Valley, and then the Nether Fortress, and I'll be set. I'll be good to go. Also, did 5 piglin brutes just spawn right there? Am I crazy? Oh my god, there's 4 piglin brutes chasing me. That's a little overkill.
So we got 3 stacks of diamonds.
Baby gas? What the? A baby gas? Wait, that is so cute. It's insane. Wait, guys, it's just a little guy, but he also lit me on fire, so I can't.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
here we go.
another village.
Wait, is this the Nether Fortress? Did I find it? I found the fortress. It does not appear to be very different at all. And a red biome too. So we can explore the red biome after I go to the fortress. Let's get this wither skull out of the way. I feel like the wither skull is definitely a very stressful part of this, and I could even die over here. Well, I've technically found the red biome, and there's another storm. These are getting a little much. Alright, let's see. Where are these wither skeletons at? Here they are. I remember you guys. You and your glowy hearts. Just drop a skull immediately. Make my life easy.
And my night vision's about to run out.
They added a new item. They added wither bones. I'm guessing those are just not different to normal bones. That'd be kind of weird if they were. Does this technically count as a structure? It is just a normal fortress, so I don't think it should count. These wither skeletons better start spawning in, bro. Here we go. Give me a skull. You won't. He didn't. I was right. There's a blaze down there. There's some skeletons.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff.
Oh. Okay, that skeleton's just shit.
No way this is real. I got one. Wither skeleton skull. There is 0 shot that just happened. I refuse to believe it. I just got one on like the 3rd wither skeleton kill. Dude. There's no way. And I'm out. Just like that. Right?
And here's another cave.
Lore, I just got jump scared again. That was awful. I feel like there's gonna be a cool thing in the soul sand place. If I were to guess what structure would be in this red biome, I would just guess another version of that piglin place, the one that we found in the blue one. I feel like I kind of want more blocks. I just heard a creeper. Is there one of those things near here? Why is there just a creeper there? Dude, I can't believe I got that wither skeleton skull that fast. If I was like 12-year-old me again, I would not be able to handle this. Like the random screams and stuff. Honestly, this is like really enjoyable because there's barely any ghasts spawning. The nether would be so much more fun to go through if they spawned like a normal amount of ghasts, but they always spawn like way too many. I haven't found anything really that
Oh,
cool in this
spawner.
biome. I still do need like 1 or 2 more structures to find. Oh my god, why did I do that to myself? Okay, the red biome's right here. I need more blocks though, so I'm gonna get more. Nether travel's all about having blocks. You know, you gotta have a bunch of them. Dude, the wither skeleton skull looks kind of creepy too. I look like Batman or something with this on. Alright, here we are, a little red biome. Let's see if there's anything new here. I'm probably about to get jump scared like 12 times because that's been happening. There's honks. Okay. Wait, is that a soul? There's a Soul Sand Valley right there. You are kidding me. Oh my god, the Soul Sand Valley looks so much cooler. Guys, can we go there, please?
Another one. Let's go.
A little much, don't you think? Oh my god, how would I even be surviving right now? I would just be dead.
Whoa.
Medium rare right now in this storm. This is crazy. Alright, we're in the Soul Sand Valley, which is already 10 times cooler. Oh my god, this is so much cooler. The souls haunt me, and like the bone things that are everywhere are like so much bigger and more like obviously a thing. Oh my god, this is so much cool. This is so much cool. I can't even speak. This is so much cooler than the normal thing. Look at that. Another
I'm an idiot.
This isn't changed. That's still the same. Like you see, like I don't even think this is that much effort. You know, look at how cool this bone thing
Okay.
is compared to the normal one we got that's like 4 feet tall. Oh my god, this is there's a dead, like, skeleton here. I mean, I wish that this is what they would do for these types of biomes. Let's look around a little more. I'm tempted to look in creative, too, for more more potential structures I missed. I still need to find one more structure. So let's see. Maybe there's one in this biome. Alright, we are here in the Basalt Delta. There's a Arglin that spawns here. Oh my god.
I'm gonna send this to my sister real quick.
Changes depending on the biome. That's cool too. But you see what I mean? Like even just having these here adds so much to this biome. Oh, it's broken. But you get the point. It adds so much to the biome, like just having these spikes, and they're literally just retextured dripstone. And like, you know, there's always in the normal Minecraft Basalt Delta place, there's these particles everywhere. But in this, they actually added like the
Honestly, this is just a little bit of diamonds right there.
so much in the air, you know? It's just like little stuff like that. Like I appreciate that. That's so smart. However, it does not look like there's anything, any new structures in this place.
This is time
Well, that was just a
to go
fun
back.
try. That's every biome found. I now have one of two options because it's kind of hard to say like whether we're counting those ruined portals as structures or not. But I
I built it wrong.
still need to discover one more structure. Now I don't know if
You saw nothing.
that one extra structure exists. Could go check out this place potentially, but I am kind of tempted to just go creative and fly around and explore a little more. This is genuinely really cool. Part of me wishes that when I did the first video on this, I didn't know as much as I did, because I feel like a lot of my reactions would be like this one, where I just appreciate the littlest of details that they added into this, you know? Alright, let's icy bridge over. If I die, I'm gonna go on creative though. Alright, we made it over. Let me explore this place and see what's up, and then if I find nothing here, I might just go in creative, man, and check it out for myself. Oh my god, it's a jump scare. Alright, yeah, I'm not finding much here. You know what? It's probably cheating, but I just want to explore this. Let's turn on cheats. I'm going in creative. While I look around here for any potential extra structures, the Soul Sand Valley is definitely the coolest biome. I thought I should add that. Let's see. I know for sure that there's something in this red biome. Okay, yeah, here's a normal bastion, I think. This looks like a normal bastion. It looks kind of boring. However, it is massive. That is the one thing they have on this mod. I'm like certain there's gotta be something in this red biome, because there was some in the blue one, like right as I entered. This is so smart, like stuff like this. Like this would be like the lava equivalent to lily pads. I love it. I love it so much. Just floating rocks, you know? Oh, here we go. I knew it. I knew there would be one. Here it is.
So why wasn't it working earlier? What?
Like the exact same layout.
I'm so confused.
Anyway, that's the red biome structure, and I think that's gonna be all for the video here. If you liked this video, make sure to like it, sub, make a bunch of cool Bedrock content. Some of it is modded like this, some of it isn't. Either way, you don't want to miss the next one. So make sure to sub if you haven't. Let me know down below what other mods you want me to play. Also, let
I lost the only golden E-gap I had. I mean, I'll look for another ancient sea to get another one, so.
Do not regret it at all. Oh my god, I'm in the stinking soul storm again, or whatever it is. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. Look at this.
Oh.
Is this a Soul Sand Valley bastion? Or is this even a bastion? I think this is a Soul Sand Valley structure. Dude, look at that. That is so cool. Anyway, I was doing the outro. Whoa! Oh my god, I'm sorry. The video must... Look at that. Look at him. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll let you go now. Alright, goodbye people. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. Alright, goodbye. Just get the 12 pearls right now. I feel like I should. Let's just do it. Actually, maybe I should trade, because these spawn rates are going to be awful, because Turbo's on the server too. Or, I don't know. I have no idea how to do it. Let's just continue. bet this is where he died. Wait, oh, Hogwarn, give me this too. There we go. Steal his loot. If it's here, I'm going to. I feel like I'm also about to die, though. Wait, Turbo's name's right there. Oh my god, I gotta kill him. Wait. Do you think he saw? Oh, hey. Well, I killed a brute.
Let's go. My stuff's back. Before it despawns, bro. Surely it doesn't despawn. Okay, nice.
Wait. Turbo's right there. I need to kill him. What does he have? He's gonna try to kill me. I knew it. This rat is dead. Get him, brute. Get him, brute. I need to light him on fire. The brute killed him. The brute killed him. No! What the heck? Where did this brute come from, bro? Get out! Run! Run! Oh my god! I escaped with 15 gold blocks. What have I done? Oh my god, there's no way. I ran out of arrows. How do I kill this thing? We need to game plan for a second. Don't mind me. Oh, he's gonna try to kill me.
No way. No way, bro.
Bruh. Did he have a bet? Oh, no, he just gave me a gold block. Oh, no. Should I just run? Let's just run. Turbo spawns right here. I don't like that. Alright, this gas is staring me down. I don't get credit! I need to melee it! I need to melee a gas! Alright, remember that for the dragon. No one tell Turbo. Now that I had a huge lead on Turbo, it was now time to trade for pearls and look for the fortress. I got my pearls pretty quickly since Turbo essentially looted the bastion for me, which meant the rest of my time was spent wandering around for the fortress. During this time, I got the few remaining kills I needed, like a gas and a magma cube, which left a Blaze, Wither Skeleton, and Zoglin as the only nether mobs left. Now you'd think that since I was searching for the fortress for so long, Turbo could have caught up with me by now, but no. He just instead kept dying over and over, which I guess stalled enough time for me to find the fortress before him after 30 minutes. Luckily, if I find one, there's like 0 shot he can get here. Oh my god, finally! I found one! Okay, it took 25 minutes. Oh my. Alright.
Oh, there we go.
Figure out this zombified Hogwarts deal, but for now, we're just gonna play this Omega safe, and I'm gonna make my portal right here, and I'm gonna go out and set my spawn. I know I should technically try to get Wither Skeleton skulls, but I'm not really that concerned. That's for, like, when I'm later in the game. Oh, what's up? Alright, Turbo's about to quake in his boots. There we go. Turbo Piggy's about to pee himself after that announcement. Any blazes here? Okay. That's evil. Blaze rod, by the way. Dead. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dying. Well, thank God I set my spawn. Nope, I'm not dead. We're okay. Killed a Wither Skeleton. Okay, that's 2 more blaze rods. Alright, I got 8.
Ah.
That's more than enough. Alright, well, I somehow lived. We're good. Now I need to figure out how to leave. I forgot. I do not remember where this port. It's like over. It's like this direction, I think. Oh, it's over here. Okay. Welcome to the overworld. Do we just go for the bedrock strat? Should I just throw this and go till there's a village? I think to an extent I will. Alright, this way. Alright.
Oh, back to the big tower.
No way he finds this spawn. So yeah, since I was 18,000 blocks out, it took me a little while until I was close to a stronghold. I ended up running for about 5,000 blocks, which sounds annoying, but it actually helped me get a lot more mobs like a bee, cod, tropical fish, dolphin, parrot, ocelot, panda, wolf,
There we go.
fish,